who is also my friend. Bwana Minister, most of the things you've said are the things we know. All that information, these members have it. A few questions for you. The court said you withhold 10.5 billion from RMLF. It did not say you get it from KeRRA or KeRRA or only. Mr. Minister, who's a good friend of mine, you have an allocation, minister's allocation from this RMLF, which is 10%. In the spirit of caring, okay, we have KWS, which has, KeRRA, which has the biggest chunk. In the spirit of being a good driver of the ministry, knowing the impact of KeRRA roads in this country, why didn't you get this 10.5 from your allocation and KeRRA, so that you let the KeRRA money continue operating? Bwana Minister, you know that it's a rainy season. The most affected roads are KeRRA roads. So what I expected of you, Honorable Minister, is not to pass the ball. You know, while you are enjoying, KeRRA is suffering. And KeRRA is mwananchi wa kawaida hapo chini. So I want your undertaking, I beseech you, in the spirit of devolution and taking resources to grassroots, forfeit 10.5 billion as we wait for mediation.
You are now walking into the hands of the governors.
My point is made.
That is the point they are using to fight you.
Decentralization of funds.
Yes.
Honorable Speaker, in the spirit of decentralization of funds, bearing in mind that KeRRA roads affect the localest of the local, Mr. Minister, we want your undertaking today.
There is no English word called localist.
You know, in difficult situations, Honorable Speaker, you can use any language possible so that the minister understands how I'm putting my points across. Yes. 2, Honorable Minister, we hope that you give us that undertaking. 2, we want to know how much have you released of the 22% and of the 10% to KeRRA.
Thank you.
And therefore to regional offices.
Thank you.
3, and most important, Honorable Minister, there is word that has been going around that you want to securitize KeRRA money, either 10% or 22%. For the avoidance of doubt, you have too much money to deal with. We don't want securitization of either 22 or 10%. And please take note that we refuse any invitation to this conversation. You have too much money. Please deal with that too much money and leave KeRRA alone, Mr. Minister. That one, we will not deal with it.
Point made.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Well done. Honorable members, I'll give 3. DK, you are the trade unionist.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you for honorable members on my side for agitating for that. At least I make my comments on it. Honorable Speaker, first I would like to say thank you to Waziri for having come so that you can be able to shed light on this very important national issue. Currently, it is raining. the 22% and the 10% of the KeRRA money are so local that as we are going for recess, it is something that this House has said that today we need a solution. I know, Waziri, you are a man of statistics, a man of data, and a man who is strategic.
Stop praising the minister. Ask him a question.
No, I'm coming there. I'm building. But
Ask him a question.
what I'm asking is, Speaker, I have to build so that I find. So what I'm asking is,
Yes.
the 10.6. You have actually said the mechanical way in which it has been initiated by the courts. What we are asking is, why don't you, in the overall RMLF funds, the fuel levy funds, instead of it lying idle, and given that by June, by the end of this financial year, instead of that money lying idle, you work on the mathematics as we are mediating on the issue and be able to release the remaining 22% and 10% as at 30th of April, so that as we go on from next week, at least the KeRRA roads can be able to be worked on, so that at least our people can be able to enjoy. So we really want you to, instead of being mechanical in terms of execution of that court case, let us be dynamic and be able to say, this is the money that is disposable that we can be able to use, so that it can be recouped in case of the worst when it gets to 30th of June. And I want to assure you, Waziri, there is no money that can go to the counties without passing this House. This is the only House that appropriate funds. And there is no court in Kenya that can pretend that they can allocate money to any agency, to any devolved units, without passing the National Assembly. So it is very important that even if what is agreed, finally it has to come to this House. And that is why, in the wisdom of this House, we said we are going to pass additional allocation to counties minus RMLF. So all these stories, unless it is earning interest, all these stories, it has to come to this House. So kindly, working on that dynamism, kindly release the 22% and the 10% by next week, so that we are able to work on our roads. Thank you.
Mawade.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to beseech and encourage the CS that there is a formula that can be a win-win formula. Without going into the details, Mr. CS, as recommended by one of my colleagues, you can find a way to still release 22% and the 10% from the fuel levy fund from other sources, but not necessarily KeRRA. That way we can repair all these roads that have been affected by the rain. Mr. Speaker, in the ongoing communication and negotiation, I am sure we can find a win-win situation where the CES can release the funds back to us, and the governors can sign a consent to release the funds back to us, and the parliament leadership is aware of the formula, and with your guidance, Bwana CS, I am sure these funds will be released to us as soon as possible. We are urging you to please release these funds to 22% and 10% back to the members, please.
Yes, member from Meru at the back. Yes. Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm
Honorable Karido.
the MP Gembe Central.
Gembe Central, I've been to your place.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
And you're welcome back again to Gembe Central. Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I want to encourage and to make it clear to the CS. I think most of us are not new in this country, and we are moving around our counties every day, and we have seen what KeRRA has done. There is no other fund, especially on loans, which is doing what KeRRA has done, touching every common person, and even the inner loans that goes to the rural areas, which are dependent upon by our people for survival, in ferrying their products and even for movements. Therefore, I encourage the CS to move with the fast and make sure that our 22 and 10% funds remains intact, and they are relayed to the counties, to the general managers for the KeRRA, so that they come to our constituencies. Because right now, after these rains, most of our areas are impassable, especially in my area of Gembe Central. There are two sub-counties, and one sub-county is completely unconnected. Without KeRRA funds to repair those roads, they will remain in Komikunakando. They cannot move out from their areas to the towns and to the major centers. Therefore, I encourage the Speaker, the CS, to release those funds so that our people can survive. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Nabi Nabwera.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. CS, listening to you, other than lamenting and encouraging mediation, I've not seen a solution to the collapsed roads in Lugari constituency. In fact, if I live here without something that says there would be money to KeRRA to start repairing the roads, even the public participation that we intend to go and do, we may be unable to carry it out because the constituency is impassable. My question is basic. When you have a basket or a granary and you are requested that we want some bags of maize from that granary, and the granary has paddocks, you want 10 bags from 100 bags. Why do you decide to pick 10 bags from the elder son and leave the 10 bags of the middle son or the young son? Secondly, I would really like to know from UCS, if you have traveled across this country, you know very well that roads are categorized. The KeRRA roads, which are national government roads, if you securitize money, the way the memo for the 10% to the KeRRA reads, leaving them with 482,000, in where I have kilometers ranging to 184 KeRRA roads. If you securitize 22%, are you saying that a person in a rural road is a lesser Kenyan than a person in an urban road? Are you saying constituencies that do not have tarmac road should perish? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Nyakundi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to give the CS solution to this problem. He has money for CS allocation. As we wait for the mediation to go on, kindly give us that money, because we all even don't know how the CS allocation is distributed within this country. Because we've been having problems with our roads. We come to your office and we get no solution. We get no money to solve those small roads. Number two, 10% and 22% of this money, the 10% and 22%, kindly don't dare touch it, because this is the money that is solving the problem that we have at home of small roads. So kindly don't dare touch it. Lastly, there is money that is normally given out because of public participation. The Budget and Appropriations Committee normally moves around the country. It has come to a point that we have demonetized these small roads to a point that any small road is seen like it's not supposed to be there. It's money that is going to someone's pocket. These roads are meant to serve our people. You will get a bridge of 10 million. And once you put the 10 million, it looks like there is someone who wants to eat the 10 million Kenya shillings. Let us not demonize this money.
Point made.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Kiamba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and the CS for this forum. I think there was a good rationale why we had KeRRA and KeRRA. I don't know whether the rationale has changed. And I think one of the rationale was to have the problem of roads solved as fast as possible. When we get all this money and collect it at the national level, in my constituency, I only have less than 20 kilometers of tarmac road. If we do away with this KeRRA, are you saying people in Makueni should just stop living, selling and buying, waiting for what they do not know? So I'm requesting the PS to be considerate. Institutions are not collapsed overnight. Institutions are built with a rationale, and if they have to stop, there has to be good rationale. Thank you.
GK.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me say I am a happy man today now that the Cabinet Secretary is here in the House to listen to the sentiments of my colleagues. Honorable Speaker, the questions that are being raised here today, Cabinet Secretaries, are the questions that I'm asked as chair. Yet, I don't have the answers, or the buck does not stop with me as chair. The buck stops with the executive, and you are the representative. So, Cabinet Secretary, I picked two issues that I'll be happy to hear your response on. One, the mediation. When do you intend to call for this mediation? If you can give us the timelines of when you want to do the mediation, and who will be the members of this mediation team. Two, there is an issue that has been raised by my colleague DK, not DK, I think, about Maram roads. Clearly, it looks like this money, it has been decided that any amount that goes into maraming our roads goes into pockets of people, which is not true. This money, these roads are very, very critical. They are what I would call the last mile link roads. It is not possible, Cabinet Secretary, to tarmac all our roads in the country. We have sections of our rural roads that require graveling and heavy grading and graveling. So we do not want to take the mindset, or to accept the mindset that this money goes into waste. Last time, I was not in the very good books with the government because I was in the opposition, so to say. So I did not get much resources to do tarmac roads in my constituency. But I used the retro money that came my way through RMLF, KeRRA, the amount of money members are agitating for here. And that is what kept my constituency roads motorable for a period of 5 years. Even if that road would only last for 7 or 10 years, it is very helpful to the people who who live in the rural areas. And therefore, Cabinet Secretary, and you know you have my full support. Please do not take that direction of refusing to give resources for Maram roads. Thank you.
CS, can you respond to those? Members, I allocated 30 minutes. We have gone over by 2 minutes. Let the CS respond.
Thank you.
Almost all the issues are the same. Yes.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, honorable members. Let me start with Honorable Jack Wamboka Wanami. I think the question raised as regarding the criteria used in withholding the 10.5 was basically, you'll recall, members, that between 2016 and 2021, the KeRRA and KeRRA part of the RMLF money was being administered and managed by the county governments. And it just came back during that 2021 when that decision was made to bring back that money because of certain administrative concerns at the time. And so the KeRRA money, or rather RMLF portion of 40%, has never been devolved to the county government. So the merit that we did employ and the contest by the county government was more on what they felt was within the ambit of the Schedule 4 of the Constitution in defining the national and the county roads. So basically that is what we employed to withhold the percentage in the proportions of 15% of 47%, because the 32% of KeRRA and the 15% of KeRRA adds up to 47. So we employed a formula of withholding a portion of 15 out of 47 and 32 out of 47 in that ratio. But members, I am more positive in seeking to resolve this issue amicably, because as much as it impacts on the members of parliament, it's a challenge which is impacting on all of us as Kenyans. And therefore we need to resolve this issue like today, tomorrow, at the soonest. Because like I said, Honorable Speaker, that 10.5 billion is a lot of money. And at a time like now, if we release this resource to yourselves, we'll be able to really address a number of the major challenges affecting the entire country as it were. So to basically just combine that question from Jack Wanami and my chairman, GK, Member of Parliament from DIA, we are seriously seeking the soonest opportunity to get the mediation chaired at a high level with appropriate leadership that can basically resolve this issue in one sitting and basically allow this resource to really build this country and work for us. And I want to believe we should be able to do this within this financial year, because it does not help anybody that money is sitting there earning interest, and we are losing so much given the state of our roads, movement of goods and people, which is basically impaired. So really, on the question of Mheshimiwa Langat, DK, I think we're going to be releasing the balance of the RMLF money next week. I've been given the numbers. I'm sitting here with the DG KRB. We'll be releasing the balance next week. We have the numbers, and therefore, even as we withhold and we would wish to seek to ensure that we resolve this challenge and release the full amount of 10.5, the balance of 3.533 billion, which is outstanding to the end of the financial year, will be released next week in the ratio of 2.43 billion towards KeRRA roads and 1.1 billion towards KeRRA roads. That will be released within next week. With respect to the concern of securitization as raised by, was that Member of Parliament for Igembe Central?
Igembe Central.
Igembe Central, Kili. We do not wish to securitize part of the RMLF that is addressing from KeRRA. We noted that, and we'll be coming to this House to seek necessary amendments to the statute that governs RMLF. We have the annuity fund, and you know annuity has not taken off as it were because the risk placed on annuity on the maintenance front is so high. So most of the annuity roads which were meant to be done on annuity have basically collapsed, and we are sitting on 3 shillings under annuity. And a few roads which were done in annuity can be managed within 50% of the 3 shillings. And therefore, we can take 1 shilling and 50 cents, securitize, return that money to yourselves in the various constituencies to be able to address the road challenges, maintenance and development that we are facing today. We did also propose to securitize part of the CS allocation that for a long time has not, like one member said, not been well distributed in an equitable way to all the constituencies because there are emergencies across the whole country. And yet, this equivalent of 1 shilling and 80 cents or 1 shilling and 50 cents, which sits under the CS allocation, could be securitized. And securitization, really, when you get the discounted future value over 10 years, we can raise as much as 120 billion today and come to this House to agree on how we can build our roads in Kenya. And you do know the challenges we have on the low-volume seal roads that need maintenance and that are orphaned because we don't have maintenance to those some of those low-volume seals. So securitization does not seek to really impact majorly on the KeRRA because KeRRA is addressing a very specific role, and therefore, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members, when we talk to securitization, we're basically looking at making best use of some of the RMLF money within the armpit of KeRRA, where we think we can get a shilling from KeRRA, we can get a shilling from CS allocation, we can get 1 shilling and 50 cents from annuity fund, and therefore securitize, raise some 120 billion and address the challenges, including what we have done through securitization of the 7 shillings. That raises 175, and like I said, 63 billion, which has already come, honorable members, has returned the bridge facility of the 63 of the 175 has made all the contractors to go back to work. So if there is any stranded road or due to a bending bill in any part of the country today, I would like to take up that and ensure the contractor resumes work because we have paid them on account of securitization for the bending bills, and therefore we should be able to get them to complete and continue with some of those projects. Mheshimiwa Nyakundi, I think I've answered the question on we don't intend to touch the 22%, and if we have to, we'll do it, and really not before we do public participation within the principles of Parliament, so that we all agree on what it means in terms of unlocking the challenge that faces our roads in Kenya today. Mawade, Mheshimiwa Mawade, Embakasi South, we are looking at a win-win, and I think if we can unlock, and we'd like to unlock, I'm hurt most as a Minister for Roads to see some 10.5 billion sitting there and not being able to deploy. the challenge between the county government and the National Assembly is not so much on the concern of, it's a concern of how can we quickly use this money to sort out the challenges that afflict our people, particularly at a time like now. Kenya will not understand the difference between the county government and the national government in maintaining roads. And therefore, allow me, Speaker, honorable members, to provide some high level of leadership to ensure that the high office do help us to address this through mediation and resolve this issue, so that even as we release the balance of 3.533 billion next week, we should really talk to how sooner do we release, like George KeRRA raised, how sooner do we release the 10.5 billion? And within this financial year, so that the smart idea of doing a multi-year does not have to really go to, we don't have to go to 25-26 with the programs of 24-25. We should be allowed to finish the programs that we did plan for 2025-26. Lugari, Honorable Nabwera, Nabi, I think I've really addressed that. Nabwera, we honestly do not wish to impact on the RMLF 22% and 10%, even as we think through securitization. But securitization, honorable members, when we possibly conference, should be really the solution to discount the value of the money that we should be collecting for the next 10 years and allow us to use that money in the next 2-3 years and address the challenges that are facing the road sector today. I don't know whether there is any moramming of roads and the CS allocation. Like I did mention, securitization has unlocked 63 billion already. We'll be going out to list 20% and 80% on the bond market to raise 175 and be able to address, on account of the securitization, the challenge facing the road. And like I've said, I would like to really get any road that is stranded today on account of pending bill, because we are able to pay, if they have not resumed, it's just because of the challenge of the, any, Honorable Speaker, members, any road which is stranded on account of pending bill, we should be able to get the contractors back to work, because we've paid them 40% and they have signed up what we developed as settlement agreement. The settlement agreement is a return to work formula, and they are all going back to work. In fact, I did address all the contractors this morning in a breakfast meeting, and they should all be getting back to work. Thank you.
Minister, take your seat. Honorable members, I'll do another round. Give me 2 minutes to give you a communication under order 3. Then I'll give you, owing to the immense interest I see. Take your seat. Honorable members, I have a message from the President as a referral of 2 bills to the National Assembly. Pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 42, I wish to report to the House that I've received 2 messages from His Excellency the President regarding the referral of the following bills to Parliament for reconsideration: the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, and the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2023. Order cases. When a communication is being made, it's good to listen. Honorable members, in the first message, His Excellency the President